Time for another board game review, and this time we have the game Scoville. This was sent to me by Tasty Minstrel Games, and it's designed by Ed Marriott. So on the instructions, they actually give you the real story of Scoville, because he's, a real guy, which is what the Scoville scale is based off of, and the fake story, and I'll read the fake story. The town of Scoville was founded in Wilbur's honor as a home for those who believe that the hottest peppers are the best peppers. Every year around this time, the town hosts the Scoville Chili Pepper Festival. The festival includes fundraising auctions for the local high school, Go Flames, a huge farmer's market, incredible prizes for growers who plant the fieriest peppers, and the world-famous Scoville Chili Cook-Off, where competitors try to scorch their way to victory with the wildest concoctions. The festival only lasts one day, and the grower that can generate the most heat will take home this year's trophy. Are you ready to feel the burn? Well, are you? Let's find out. So in Scoville, there are 5 phases in each round. There's auction, planting, harvesting, fulfillment, and time check. In the auction phase, all players bid coins for choice of turn order. And then in turn order, you claim these auction cards up here. In the very first round of the game, there's no bid, but after that, you start, at the beginning of each round, you bid. So you pick a select amount of money, and you put it in your hand, secretly, and then when everyone's ready, you reveal your bids. And whoever bid the highest chooses their spot on the turn order track and moves their disc there. So let's say Blue won the auction. Blue wants to be last, they move their token here. And the next highest bidder chooses their next spot, and so on. Then, after you've determined your turn order, you look at the auction cards and you pick one. As you can see, we've got blue, red, yellow, and red. So you pick one. Let's say you pick red, yellow, and you get those colored peppers added to your collection. And the next player picks, let's say, blue, and the next player picks red, and you get your peppers for that round. After all cards have been chosen, you replace them. And continue. Now we go to the planting phase. In turn order, every player must plant one pepper. To plant a pepper, the player selects any pepper from their own supply and places it in one of these empty slots in the pepper field. A player's pepper may only be planted in a plot that is horizontally or vertically adjacent to a plot that already has a pepper in it. And then they can also plant an extra pepper by using bonus action tiles, which I'll go into later. If you plant a pepper of a specific color that is on these award plaques, you get to pick up one of those plaques and get bonus points. So if you plant, let's say, a white pepper, you get to pick up a 7.1. And as you can see, as these are picked up, the point values decrease. So it's beneficial to grow them faster than the others if you want to get these points. At the beginning of the game, you pick 2 peppers to place in the middle. You take a red, yellow, and blue pepper, and you can randomly choose 2. In this case, we have a red and a yellow. So now, in turn order, every player plants a pepper. So player 1 could put one here, player 2 could put one here, and player 3 could put one, let's say, here. As long as they're horizontally or vertically adjacent to previously planted peppers, it's fine, wherever you want. Now we go to the harvesting phase, and now in reverse turn order, you move your farmer up to 3 steps along the plot paths. You start on the star here, and you got your little farmer pieces here to place on the board. Now you may move up to 3 steps, but you must move at least 1 step, and a step consists of sliding the farmer along these paths on these little notches here. Farmers may not pass through nor stop on an opponent's farmer. And a farmer may be pivoted at the start of a turn to start moving in any direction, but once it has begun movement, it may not be turned around to face the opposite direction. Another way to look at that is basically farmers cannot retrace steps that they've already taken that turn. Now, let's say we'll start with the blue farmer and start on the star. Every time you walk between 2 peppers, you harvest a pepper. Now there's a handy breeding chart here that shows all the different combinations. It looks complicated, but you get the hang of it. So let's say farmer blue goes down, let's say 1, 2, 3. Since he passed between a red and blue pepper, he gets a purple pepper. So the blue player would take a purple pepper and add it to their collection. Then let's say purple farmer does, I don't know, 1, 2, 3. Since they went through the red and yellow, and the yellow and blue, they get an orange and a green pepper. Ta-da! Let's say orange farmer goes 1, 2, 3 and ends up here. So they went between 2 red peppers, and so they get 2 red peppers, according to the breeding guide right here. Ta-da! And that's how the harvesting phase works. And then we come to the fulfillment phase. In turn order, you may perform any or all of the following actions, but you can only perform each action at most once. Now, you can visit the farmer's market over here. In the farmer's market, there are different market cards here, and they're asking for different colors of peppers. So if you trade in a red and green pepper here, you would get a brown pepper, 3 coins, and 1 fire, or whatever the hell you call it, the heat points at the end of the game. So these give you some money bonuses and some pepper bonuses if you want them. You can compete in the chili cook-off. As you can see, they all have different pepper combinations. So if you use the right peppers, you can keep this recipe card and get these points at the end of the game. So you can make the chili bang bang here, which is a brown, red, yellow, blue pepper if you had the correct peppers in your collection. And if none of those catch your fancy, you can also sell peppers. You may sell at most 5 of one color of your peppers to the supply. So each sold pepper earns $1 for every 2 of that colored pepper currently in the fields. So let's say there were 6 blue peppers on the field. That means each blue pepper you sold would be worth $3. Now all the peppers and recipe cards and market cards and money that you get, you place behind these screens. These are kind of like private screens that people don't know exactly how much money you have or what kind of peppers you have. So it's nice. It gives you kind of like some privacy so that people can't like sneak a look at your stuff and try to plan around that. So after everyone's had a chance to sell or cook or do whatever their heart desires, you go to the time check phase. You count the number of cards remaining in the farmer's market, and if there are at least as many cards remaining as there are players, then it's still morning. But if there are fewer cards than there are players, so for a 3-player game, if there are 2 or less, then you go to afternoon, and you would use these green cards instead and shift to afternoon phase. You discard any remaining morning market cards and draw new cards from the afternoon market to refill the market. You also do the same thing with the auction cards. As you can see, there's a green deck up there. That's the afternoon deck. And then from then on, in the afternoon phase, in the time check part of the game, you count the cards, and if there are fewer cards than there are players in one of these 2 locations, whether it's the chili cook-off area or the market area, then you do one more round, and then the game ends after the next fulfillment phase. If there are fewer cards than there are players in both of them, then the game ends immediately. So there is a time limit as market cards are being bought and recipes are being cooked. If you run out of cards in both or one, time starts to tick, and so you have to kind of plan around that. Bonus action tiles let you do a special thing, but you can only use them once. If you don't use them, they're worth 4 points at the end, but if you do use them, you can either plant 1 extra pepper, move 1 extra step, or double back once on a space. So these can be useful depending on the sort of steps you need to take during a turn. If you don't use them, 4 points each. After everything is all said and done, you total your points, count the points on your market cards, on your recipe cards, on the award plaques you've gotten, and every $3 you have is 1 point. Whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. It's a very charming and fun game. The auction phase is really fun. It's kind of unpredictable and risky, but it's fun. There are also benefits to going last too, because I like that the harvesting phase occurs in reverse order. So it's not like, if you lose the auction every time or don't participate that you're going to get screwed. There are upsides to either way. It really depends on your situation. Planting the peppers and getting different combinations and getting the plaques when you grow certain peppers is really satisfying. There's also a lot of opportunity to block people with your farmers as you're strategizing your most efficient path while trying to block people from getting peppers that you want or peppers that you think are too valuable. I also like that there's a variety of things you can focus on. You don't have to focus on just the plaque achievements. You can focus on the market. You can focus on selling and getting more money for future auctions. You can cook chili and get some points. There's not one sure path to victory. There's a lot of different things you can try, and you can do a mix of everything. The components are super nice. Putting the peppers in the spots feels really good. They all look nice, and as you get rarer peppers, they're bigger. There's a crystal pepper, and yeah, and the little farmers. It comes together in a very nice presentation. I like having the screen. I like having that sort of privacy, that sort of a secrecy to your stash, that you don't so that you can kind of catch people by surprise at the end. It's not hard to learn and not too many things to worry about. Like, it has just enough variety of things to do and work on without it being super overwhelming to me. I like that. Growing the peppers and getting recipes and cards is very satisfying. Watching the field grow with all the peppers, because as you add more peppers, there's just more and more and more, the field expands. So watching it grow in that way is also pretty satisfying. Overall, the game has kind of a Harvest Moon, Animal Crossing kind of feel, and I really like that about it. It kind of gives you the freedom to go, hey, here's the field, here's some stuff you can do. Plant and get those juicy points, get those spicy points. There's a good amount of strategy and paths to follow. Overall, it's a very solid game. It's a hot game. Hottie McDottie.